Hey, this is Ricky with Real Talk Champ, live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Champ. That's RealTalkChamp. We're live streaming on YouTube if I didn't already say that. This is part 3 of Mesmerizing Aurora, paint by numbers from numberartist.com, item number 50-40-LZ8383. Trying to see if I'm actually live streaming. It does not appear to be. If I am or not, well, we'll find out in a moment. So bear with me while I try to figure out what's happening here. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm live streaming or not. You'll just have to let me know. It doesn't appear to be, but zoom out here. Here we go. All right. Do we have Wi-Fi? Says we have Wi-Fi. Audio. I do hear audio. Well, I guess we are live streaming, so that's good. So we'll continue on where we left off yesterday. I don't recall. I think I was at 21 when I left off. That's Paint Pod 21. Part 1, we started off with number 1 and we got to like number 10, I think, and then part 2 we went 10 up to 20, and then here we are. Part 3 will do 20 on to 30 depending on time, and yeah. So we have our wipes, we have our magnifying glass in case we need to see smaller numbers, we have our water on the side to clean, we have something to drink. We will get cracking. So let's look on the board and see what we've got on the board on the canvas, and see if we've missed any numbers from 1 through 20. I see a little 21 right here, so here's 21. Start off by finishing up, or start at 21. I don't recall what we did on part 2, but this is part 3. That's 22 over there. There's a little 21 right here. Okay, let's continue looking. There are a lot of numbers that I painted over while I was doing, I think it was number 15, which are the darker blue, and I cut off numbers completely, so we'll have to use a reference. Go back and find those numbers. So 24 in front of me there. Let's see, there's a 22, there's a 21 right here. Okay. Well, if I haven't said so already, if you like this type of content, please consider hitting that like button. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. Comment, keep me entertained while I try to entertain you here. And of course, smash that subscribe button for Real Talk Chimp. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers for the end of this month, and we're already at June 25th, 2026. Okay, let's see if we can find anything else on here. So 22s and 23s. Okay. Some of these numbers are super small. 22. Here's a 21 over here. Yeah, this one certainly has more green in it than it does blue, because you can see it right next to the blue here, which would have been like 20. And then the 21 is more like an aquamarine, I guess, type color. But basically in this area here, it's all like, what do you call these things? It's snow-covered ground is what it is, but it's breaking away down on this bottom right. So you see it's super dark, almost black, where this ocean is, or river or lake or whatever it is. And then you got all these little Arctic pieces here floating around with various colors reflecting. It's snow covered, so it's going to reflect whatever's in the sky down on top of it. So okay, so we're still looking for 21s. There's 21s down here. Okay, let's go up the side of the board. We got a 21 on the side of the board here that you'll probably never see. Let me look at what this is. Well, that's 38. Okay, let's look up and see if we can find any more 21s. See an ant crawling across the top of the canvas. Well, that's not an ant. What are you? You're like a baby June bug. Probably. Okay, it's 27s, 31s, 27s. I guess that was it for the 21s. There really wasn't anything too exciting. Maybe a 21 will jump out when I least expect it. So let's move on to 22. Again, not that much different. It looks a little bit lighter. Here's 21. Here's 22. From the top, they look almost identical, but you can see this one is certainly lighter than this one here, the 21. So here's the 22. So we consider the 22 would be the highlight off of the 21. So let's see what we got for 22s around here. I see a 22 right in front of me here. There's a 22 right here. Considerably lighter, more of a sky blue. There's a 22. Right next to it. Threes, 23. Oh, there's a 20 right there. Let me go back and get that 20. Here was the 20, which is like 3 or 4 pigments lighter than the 22 that we're on. So let me take a different paintbrush. Let's not lose it under the table. Let's see if we can find that again. 20. Where is that 20? Oh, it's right in front of me here. Okay. I thought I saw another 20 somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. There's a 20. I know I saw here. 20 poking through the paint, and there it is up here as well. 20 poking through because it's a lighter color. Plus I was using water to thin it out, so the number 20 itself is poking through. See if I can see it anywhere else. Any more 20s poking through? Right up here, there's a 20. Let's get a little more paint. Okay, I think we're good there. Let's go back to 22. Oh, well, yeah, it was 3-0. Yeah, I knew it was playing at the bar that I went to last night for karaoke. Game, bro. Epic win. 3-0. Yeah, and actually I had this gal come. I asked this gal earlier in the night. I said, I think Mexico's playing with Czech Republic. Can you check on the score? And when she first came out, she said it was 1-0, 2-0, and then she came out and said it was 3-0. So that's pretty dope. And then I asked her an interesting philosophical question. I'm not from Mexico, nor do I know anything about the Mexican team. And then, of course, the Czech Republic, that seems kind of far away. I wouldn't know anything about really them. But I think anybody can like any sports team they like for whichever reason. But she had an interesting thing that she said to me. She goes, I think it's the fact that Mexico is so much closer to us than the Czech Republic that we would vote for Mexico to win. It's okay. That's an interesting philosophy. I've never heard that before, but I guess it kind of makes sense. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think also maybe your parents have an influence on you, like before you're just starting to get into sports. Maybe your parents are watching sports on TV, and you're like, which team should I like, mommy and daddy? Well, mommy likes this team and daddy likes that team. So you choose whatever you want. And as you start watching, you start looking at statistics of players and stuff. If that's that's what you like, then, you know, maybe you buy some of the baseball cards, football cards, hockey cards, tennis cards, whatever cards, and you have a collection of your favorite cards, collecting cards. Or then there's maybe one specific person that you like the most, like Michael Jordan or Steve Garvey or, you know, whatever. What was his name? Fernando Valenzuela. That shows you how old I am. But to like a sport team and decide which one you're going to root for, I don't know how that works. I really don't know how that works, but Mexico versus Czech Republic, 3-0 Mexico for the World Cup. Soccer or football, pretty neato. I know there's a ton more teams playing because every time I turn on the sports channel on TV, there's like 5 or 10 different team scores up there. So it's a World Cup, right? I should probably be watching it, but I just never really got into sports. I go towards more artistic type things, I guess. I do like watching the X Games, though. I'm not going to lie. I think that's super cool. Anywho, we're trying to find 22s, and I can't find any of them. I found only 2 of them. Sometimes that's what happens in a painting with a lot of paint pods. If you're just using, like doing a paint pod of just 12, then you'll probably use all 12. But in a paint pod of 39 paint pods, you may get to use one paint pod once. And that's kind of what it's looking like. I'm not finding any 22s. At least my eye's not catching on. I see 23. There's probably 22s around. Eventually I'll find them as I start filling out the canvas more. I see a lot of 32s and it's throwing me off. As far as 22 goes, I think it was just those 4 little tiny dots of 22, and now we're going to move on to 23. I'm still looking. No. Okay, I'm going to move on to 23. Yeah. So let me wipe off these paintbrushes. I went into a whole taekwondo, something, talking about football or soccer, just because Game Bro came in here and said, epic win Mexico 3-0, and then split. Okay. So 22 was this color here. 23 looks like a green, a deeper, like a bluish green. Not that much different. When you look on YouTube, you can almost not tell them apart. But I assure you, this one has a little bit more green in it. With my own eyes, although my eyes could be deceiving me, as we are living in the Matrix. They look virtually the same, but they have different numbers. Like 22 is 0565, while 23 is 0567. So being that it's a 7 and not a 5, it's probably 2 pigments different. All right, number 23, let's see what we can find. Start off on the far left here. These appear to be all 30s. Okay, 20, here's a 23. Okay, I cannot tell this one apart from the 21. They look identical to me, especially on this canvas here. Here's a 23. Here's a 23. They look identical. I cannot tell the difference between these two. So I'm not sure if they messed up or if it's supposed to be, or maybe when it dries, it'll look like a few shades different. Here's a larger 23 up here. Maybe we can find out more when we fan this all out. Careful, you have a 32 right there. So let's try to go around that without overwhelming it. $23 right next. No, that's part of it. Okay. So here's the 21 right to the left and the 23 right next to it. I cannot tell them apart. If you can, you have some better eyes. Okay. Let's see if we can find any more 23s. 32. Those are 32. Here's a 23 over here. $21 here, 23 here. I do not see any difference at all. In fact, I'm side by side with it. I don't see any pigment different. Like you can tell the difference between 21 and 20 right here. But this one and this one, they look identical. There's a giant 23 right here. We'll use the big brush. You can definitely see the difference between the 20 and the 23 right here, plus the multiple other colors that are there. I think put a little too much water on there. It's bleeding over to the 35 and 32. Let's see if there's any more 23s around. I'm not seeing any more down on below the horizon. Let's look above the horizon. Any 23s? I think we may be able to finish this painting in part 3 today. That'll be good because then we can move on to our next project. I'm not seeing any more 23, so we'll go on to 24. I got more paint on my finger than on the canvas. All right, well, 23, we now move on over to the next pod series. This is 24 through 39. So 23, well, 23 and 24 are a distinctive shift. So here's 23, which was this kind of sky blue. 24, we start going into the avocado or the light fluorescent-y type green. So it's a distinctive shift, so make sure you wash and wipe off your paintbrushes or you'll mix the colors, and while it'll still be beautiful, it'll be something completely different than you're trying to accomplish. So there's 24. If you're just tuning in, consider hitting that like button if you like this type of content. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. Comment on the screen, whatever's on your mind. I'm open. I got an open mind. Just no politics or religion, please. I'm not good with that. I can't win any of those battles. All right, so we're working on number 24 here, which looks like a mint green, I guess, or a winter green. I don't know. They look like my Tic Tacs. So 24. We said those were all 30s across that side. Here's a 24 here, so we're going to switch to a big brush and work on this. It's 24. So this is all reflecting everything from up here down, that's reflecting up and down. So okay. Those 24s taken care of. Any more 24s? No, there's a 23 right there, and I didn't even see it. So we'll go back and do that 23. We got 24 up here, right along the mountain here, so we don't want to mess that up. Pretty sure this is the sky behind it. Huge 24 right here, so we'll go back and do that. I'm having to hold the phone that I'm filming off of, so the canvas is moving. You're not tripping. The canvas is moving every time I touch it. It's trying to run away from me. I guess it doesn't want to be painted. Well, it's about to fall off now. We're going to have to figure out how we can do this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip the board upside down, the canvas upside down, because I got to get to these 24s that are down here. I'm going over the lines in some of them because I just can't help it. But we'll just use it to blend when we can. Use a little bit of water and then blend it. .31 right there. Go around that 31. I think we're done with 24 and we can move to 25. So again, I don't see any difference between these, but here's 24. Here's 25. Now I guess this one, 25, is a little bit lighter. 24. Whoa. Paint's like hella dried out. Crazy looking thing. Looks like a mountain on some alien planet. Look at that. I am Aquaman. I think it's definitely going to require some thinner. So this is number 25. So let's do this 23. That's been sitting here poking at me for a while. This is that 23. But I keep forgetting about it. So we're going to use the big one for that 25 that's above it. So I take some water, I take some pigment from the bottom part of the pot, I bring it into the top and swirl it around, mix it up. The water will act like a thinner. But you don't want it too wet or it'll just drip down and cover over everything else. Yeah, I don't see any difference between these colors right here. So weird. If it's just the slightest pigment different. Okay, guess we're done with 25. We'll move on to 26. A slight shift, a little bit darker. Here's 25. Here's 26. Yeah, you can, it's definitely a little bit darker. Considerably darker. It's more of a darker wintergreen, less of an avocado. Well, there's a 25 right there. Get that 25 now that I see it. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. All right, hang on a second. We got a glove emergency here. Lovely. You can hear that. Can't put a glove on if your hands are all wet. Apparently this glove refuses to go on. Okay. I spilled the paint everywhere somehow. Oh my God, I did it again. Can't take me anywhere. What the hell was I doing? Painting. Number 25. Right here. Done? Yeah, good. All right. 26 right there. Alien finger. There's no finger in there. Looking for 26. It's 26 up top. It's a 28. Looks like a 26. Those are all 28s. Okay, I guess we're done with 26 and we'll move on to 27. At this rate, we will probably finish this thing. Okay. Let's clean off these brushes. It's amazing we haven't got one like. I guess nobody likes live streams anymore, right? Or maybe you have to have 1 million subscribers to get likes. I guess nobody likes this type of content. No, well, guess I won't be doing it anymore. After this painting, yeah. I got one more painting, but since nobody seems to want to watch the live streams anymore, I'll just do that on my own. This was number 26. This is number 27, now lighter again. I don't understand why they keep doing this, but that's what they want. That's what they'll get. It's 27. Looks like they added more white to it. This canvas just keeps running away from me. I'm going to do my best. Try to hold on to it and paint at the same time. I added some water to thin it out. Trying to cover over that number 27. Okay, I guess we're done with 27. We're going to move on to 28. There's 27. There's 28. It's darker. We keep going lighter, darker, lighter, darker, which means that we're doing highlights, shadows, highlights, shadows. Still staying in that wintergreen look. Okay, we're done with 28, so we'll move on to 29. There's one here. Those are all 31s, 38s. Move on, 29. Get rid of these goddamn gloves. Holy moly spicoli. Dan LFC16. Hello. Oh, I gotta get these hands to dry a little bit here. I can't put these gloves on when the hands are all wet. Hands are all wet. Jazz fingers. Okay, let's try to put our gloves back on. I wear gloves because I get paint everywhere, and as a chimpanzee hybrid human, I like to go paw painting when I can. I will be hosting a new series in my brain called Paw by Numbers. And I don't mean like paw, you know, your father is your paw. I mean like a monkey paw, cat paw, that type of paw. God, I cannot put these gloves on. I would be a terrible surgeon just because I could not put a pair of gloves on my fingers. Why is this finger longer than these fingers? I should have a series just about how to put on gloves. Well, apparently I can't put on gloves, so. All right, what the hell am I doing? 28 going to 29, that's right. Here's 28. Here's 29. If you can tell the difference, well, yep, this one's got more blue, this one's got more green. Okay. So looking at this mess that I've been creating on this page, this is what we're doing. What disappoints me of this painting is I can't figure out this mountain that I painted, but I can figure it out on here. So I don't know where I went wrong. This one looks pretty good. This one came out kind of okay, a little mushy. But you have to remember, these are done by professional artists. I'm a professional chimpanzee. At least I play one on TV. All right, number 29 here. Another mint color. A mint green, winter green kind of thing. I don't know how I put brand new gloves on and immediately they're covered in paint. I can't figure this one out. I am stuck in the matrix somehow. Okay, so we're looking for 29. How are you doing there, Dan L? F? Dan? What's going on in the world of Dan? Speak to me or type to me. All right, 29, 29, 29. Looking for 29s. 29 up here. No, 29. 29 here. No. Seems like the bottom half of the horizon are all in the start in the 30s. 29. Let's go up here and look for a 29. Do you say here's a 29? All right. We got a big old boy up here. Big old boy. Gotta use suspenders. He's a big old boy. Yes, that is the canvas bumping up and down because I'm having to hold the camera, which is my phone, because my phone is too heavy for the gimbal that I'm using. Every time I let go of it, you see the ground. So I'm being forced to hold onto it at the same time I'm painting here. So because I am a large gorilla chimp, I have a tendency of pushing things, and what's being pushed is the canvas every time I touch the paintbrush to it. You may be lighter than me and not have to deal with these woes. They're not really negative woes. They're just woes. They're not woe is me. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Because we're just chilling in the Arctic wilderness, yo. All right, so that's 29. I'm going to flip the canvas over and get the 29s that are up higher that I will not be able to reach. So we are going into the upside down right here. We're going to do the 29 that goes across here. So we're going to get a little bit of water so we can get it to flow a little bit better. And we're going to dig right into it. Blammo. Right into it. Let it just flow right in. It's an Aurora Borealis, for Christ's sake. You don't need any hard edges. Just let it flow right into the other colors. Even if it crosses over it, not a big deal. Hang on that. Wouldn't be prudent. Right. You don't want a major shift into color because then it'll seem a little weird. I mean, even the rainbow does have edges to it, surprisingly. That's how you distinctively tell the colors apart. Okay, that was 29 there. Any more hidden around that I can see? The 29 somewhere. Do you see a 29 anywhere else? Here's a 29, little itty bitty one right here. Just little itty bitty. Any more number 29s? We got a 29 up over here. Sometimes you have to see things from upside down to try to figure it out. Anything else? Thank you for hitting the like button. I know it really takes a lot out of people to have to hit the like button. You don't have to hit the like button, but it lets other people find us in the algorithm. When people are communicating using the comments and smashing the like button, then more people can find you. Assuming people are looking for painting. I'm not painting a house, but you know, I don't know, like if people see it pops into their news feed of, because I tagged it as painting, maybe they think, oh, hey, we get to watch, we're trying to paint our neighbor's house or something, and we'd like to be able to see what the best methods is for painting a house. The best methods to paint your house, if you can't do it, hire a painter. If he can't do it, go back to doing it yourself. Open up a can of paint, stick a paintbrush in it, and go up and down. If you can get a roller, that's even better. Roll the paint on because you want nice, even coats. Once you do one full coat, let it dry 24 hours and come back and do another coat. And then you can sit and watch paint dry. There. Isn't that cool? Now like, share, comment, and subscribe. I just taught you how to paint a house, for crying out loud, and I'm painting a picture here. Moving on. What am I doing? 29. That's what I'm doing. Looking for 29s in all the wrong places because I can't find any more 29s. So we're done with 29 and we're going to go right to 30. Normally, once I hit 30 here, we would have been done with this live stream, but we're only an hour in. But because of the last 10 paints, I only had to paint one spot. Yeah, weird. I know. So that was 29. I don't even see a difference between 29 or 30, but you can be the judge of that. Here's 29. Here's 30. 30 looks a little bit darker. 29, 30. Okay, so 30, it seems to be a little bit darker than 29. So 29 was the highlight, 30 is the shadow, as far as light and dark theory go. At least that's how my brain's wired. All right, so we're looking for 30s. I see a 30 right out of the gate. So we're going to smack that right down here. .30 stops at a 38. All around it are 38s. Okay. Those are all 38s. Here's a 30 here. .38s and 33s. That's a 39. It looked like a 30, but it's a 39. I guess we're done with 30. We'll move on to 31. Yep. I don't see any more 30s. All right. Let's move on to 31. Now we're going to do another color shift here. So this was 30. This is 31. Oh, come on, focus in. Definitely added more white to this one, white or gray to this one. It's considerably different, but if you were to mix your paint into it, like your paintbrushes weren't fully washed off and dried off, you'd really get a different color. So here's 31s. Weird looking. Nice, weird looking. I think we have a mini Arctic wilderness just in our paint right here. All right, so looking for 31s. It looks like sour cream and chives, kind of like a dip. Maybe if I had a chip, I'd dip it in there and eat it. I wouldn't recommend it, though. I don't know what kind of chemicals they have in their acrylic paints. It does come from China. China is known to put chemicals in things. U.S. also puts chemicals in things. The whole world puts chemicals in things. All right, there's a bunch of 31s with the big paintbrush, so I'm going to switch. I'm going to add a little water in here. Mix this up a little bit. Add a little pigment. It does look like sour cream and chives. See how it looks on the linen. Oh, good enough to eat. Maybe a little bit too much water. It's making it a little translucent. So we'll go back and smash it with some more color. Why do I keep saying the word smash? Is that a metaphor for something? I don't know, the bar that I was at last night when I was doing karaoke, guys kept talking about smashing things. I thought they were just like hulks, doing the Incredible Hulk smash thing, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's a metaphor for something else. I'm not too hip on the Gen Z stuff, so. But if you know what they're talking about, you can post it in the comments. Clearly, I'm getting old. I mean, I was getting old when I first was born, so, you know. Come on, canvas. See if I can push this canvas all the way across this table and onto the floor. Those are all 33s. I'm not seeing any more. Well, I lied. I see 131 left. That's 37. 39. All right, let's switch to 32. Just covering up the 31 number. Thirty-two looks very similar to 31. There's 31. Here's 32. 32 is slightly lighter than 31. Across the horizon. When you look at the top of a wave, you see a slight bit of foam. You know, as the wave is coming into shore, you see that slight bit of foam at the top of it. That's kind of like what I'm doing here. It seems like, well, this isn't an ocean and a flowing ocean like that. This is some type of ice caps that are, you know, breaking apart that you can see. So however this looks once it's done, to be able to tell, because right now when you're super close up to it, you can't tell. It just looks like blotches of paint. You know, you can't really discern what you're looking at until you step back. This almost looks like, you know, if you were young and you put stars, glow in the dark stuff on your, wherever in your bedroom or in your car or wherever you put them. This paint, while it's not glow in the dark, it looks like that color of that kind of alien green. But it's not a fluorescent green or anything that I'm aware of, so. I'm looking up into the Aurora, see if there's any 32s up there, and I'm not seeing any 32s. So 33s. 33s going up the side. Okay, I think we're done with 32, so we'll switch to 33. There's your 32 right here. Right in the middle where I don't see it. Any more? All right, in case any would pop up, we'll go back to them. So we'll move on to 33. If you're just joining us in the channel, if you don't mind, hit that like button if you like this type of content. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. Comment on the screen if we have an open dialogue. More people will find us. And of course, smash that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of June. Today is June 25th, 2026. So we're running out of time. Come on, folks. Help a chimpanzee out. All right, well, get ready for a distinct, different change. First of all, let's hit you with this. This is what we're currently working on here. It's called Mesmerizing Aurora. Item number 50-40-LZ8383 from numberartist.com. So I will roll back a little bit here so you can get a gander of what I'm working on here. I mean, when you're close up, it just looks like splotches. So when you put this in perspective, now mind you, he used a feathered brush to feather all this to make it, you know, more smooth, which eventually I will do as well. I'll come back with a feather brush and make it all smooth. Rulus. Is USA playing in the, are they playing now? Are they up? Ace is back. Welcome, Ace. A second here. Let's grab this paper towel that fell. We can certainly use that. Holy moly, is it hot in here. Whew. All right, so when you're looking at just splotches, of course, it's all going to look like just splotches. Fortunately, I cannot get the phone to zoom out, so we're just at it. So anyway, we went 32 to a 33. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. 32 was this light very light greenish white. Now 33 looks like we're going into the black territory. This is either black or a dark purple, but I'm going to think it's probably black. So, or it is a very dark gray. So this will be representing our very dark spots, probably in the water. Not sure if there's any 33s in the sky, but we'll check. Oh yes, there is. I'm going to flip the canvas over so we can get this corner. We're working on this corner right here. So right side up, it's this corner up here. Okay, but an orientation goes, I have it flipped around right now. We'll be working right here. This is all 33s right here, a very, very dark color. We have a very dark color here. This is a very dark purple. But this next one here looks like it's more of like a black. So when we go up against it, you'll see a distinct difference between the dark purple and this black here. This will be your deep, dark night sky. This is where we'll have fun when we start putting our own stars in here. This paint is so thick. I'm going to add some black to it so it flows a little bit better. Let's take a look at our picture here. Look what chair, can't get it to focus very well. Got to lift up the canvas because it's kind of underneath here a little bit. And it's just, you know, the clouds are going over the night sky, so it shouldn't be so prominent that the night sky is going over the clouds. So it doesn't work that way, right? This is outside in the universe. These are inside of our universe, our world, our atmosphere. That's the word I was looking for. Atmosphere. Okay. So that's a different color that's in there. What color is in there? Let's see. I think I may have screwed that up. Oh, I think that may be a 38 in there. Okay. So this is a 33, more 33s over here on this corner. I'm smashing it in there, as the Gen Z say. Any more 33s? Yep, we got a 33 on the edge down here. Okay. I got 33s down yonder. Let's first look in the center of the canvas. Can we find any more 33s? I do not see any more 33s in the center of the canvas. Okay. All right, I think we can switch to smaller brush for the 33s down here, I think. No, I take that back. We need it again. We need you. We need you to come out of retirement, sir. We got a 33 all the way down here. This is the one and then when we very first started the unboxing and the tutorial, and I was teaching you about the marker that takes away the paints, I did it right here on the number 33. You can tell because there's a 33 right there. So we're going to come back and just get into that corner there. Just drag it straight across. You got other numbers around you, so try not to take out them because black is a very difficult. Actually, I don't think there's any color that'll, well, maybe white. I think white is the only color that will go over a black. Everything else will just blend into it. That's why whenever you mix any color with black, what happens? It stays black. If black were a mathematical number, which it is, what number would it be? Good answer. I have no idea what you said. Because you didn't say anything. All right, Ace, take care, bud. Thanks for hanging out. I'm now going to switch to a smaller brush. So on my next project, I'm going to be building another Japanese 3D wooden structure. And that's kind of how I'm doing it. I'm flip-flopping between painting and modeling, doing the modeling stuff. Not modeling like, hi, I'm a supermodel, look at me. No, not that type of modeling. No. People pay me to go away, so they don't want to look at me. They're scared of hybrid chimpanzee humans. 33 right here. Modeling as in either modeling clay, modeling metal, modeling plastic, modeling wood, modeling as a hobby, modeling. Although I'm sure supermodel and male and female modeling could also be a hobby. Why do we have words that sound similar that don't mean anything but Could be misconstrued as the same thing, but I'm not, never mind. Okay. All right, any more 33s? Do you see any more 33s? 33s, 34s. Any more 30? Yes, right here, right in front of my nose. Okay. Anything else? What is that all the way up there? Hang on a second. This is driving me bonkers. That's 33. What is that? 7. That's supposed to be 7 up there? Color 7. Yeah, I guess it is. All right. All right, since I screwed up here, that open space right there is supposed to be number 7. This is number 7, which is that deep purple. Let's use the other number 7. I emptied that one. Here we go. See that kind of dark purple there. I'm gonna use that. Come and get this right here. I'm just kind of wisping it out because this is meant to be the aurora shining through the night sky. This being the night sky, that being a flatulent. So those of you that have been watching the live stream and been listening carefully, I've been, see, the neat thing about the closed captioning is it usually picks up everything I say and everything it hears, right? So I've been breaking wind every once in a while just to throw off the closed captioning and hoping it hears it. So I'm hoping when we're watching back this live stream and it's an archive video on YouTube, you know, you'll hear some music, you'll hear me talking, and then you'll hear. I think in the closed caption that's called blowing a raspberry. I think that's what they call that. Check out the way the water, it's totally psychedelic. Look at that. It's like an infinity symbol or a number 8. Crazy. Crazy. Real Talk Chimp is a little loony. But if he wasn't a little spectacular, you all would stop tuning in. All right, what the hell am I doing here? Oh, that's right. So that, my friends and friendettes, that was number 33, which was either a very deep purple or a very dark black for the night sky. Pretty sure we finished it. Now when we go to 34, we're going to a complete different color shift here. We're like going up and starting into this lavender again. So you really want to make sure your paintbrushes don't have that black paint on it, or you are going to be shifting whatever the heck you're doing into La La Land. Although we do like La La Land, but see, no paint, no black paint. We're good there. We already wiped off the other one, so here we are. I'm going to try to finish this painting in this part 3 here. Because normally I live stream for 4 hours on these parts. But I think we can do it. All right, so 34. 34. Let's start at the very top. I see a 34 up over here. So let's get in here and grab, stay in their little spot. Let's grab some of this. And we'll go up here to number 34 and try to blend it in the best that we can. Almost looks like a gray. The reason why I'm talking like this is I've got my Galaxy S25 potato on a kind of a chest gimbal, and it's so heavy it doesn't want to stay up. So I'm having to lean back so that you can see what the heck I'm doing. And it's making me talk like a nincompoop. A nincompoop! Okay. Oh, a little bit up here. A little bit over there. Oh God, I screwed up. Okay. 34. Do we got any more 34s here, boss? We're looking. Oh, we got a little 34 right here. I can't really cover up that. There we go. Any more 34s, boss? Yeah, I see one up over here, boss. Come over here. Right here, boss. Right here, 34. Okay. Any more 34s? No. How about down over here? You got any more 34s down over here? Those are 38s and 39s, 32, 32. Wait a minute. There's a 32 and a 33. Wait, what? Wait, what? Now they're popping up over here. We have lost a paintbrush. I repeat, we have lost a paintbrush. Here it is. Found it. It was decided it wanted to go swimming in the Potomac over here. We're not going to let that happen here, pal. Hey there, pally. You get washed off over here. You get yourself washed off over here. Okay, we're good now. Wait, I think we're done with that. We'll move that over along. So I had some other colors. I got 33s over here I didn't even freaking use. Hey, pal. We got to go back and use some of this black. Because according to this fountain over here, it's requiring all 33s in here. Wait. Yeah, 33s. You scared me there, boss. Okay. So this is a mountain. This is a mountain. And when you have a mountain, for some reason, you must have a very dark core in here that requires number 33, which is a black acrylic paint. Okay. Some over here for some weird reason. I don't know why. Okay, that was that. I guess that was that, all right? I don't see anything else. That was that, all right? I don't know what that is over there. It's a 3, but I can't see what's next to it because you painted over it like a nincompoop. All right. Are there any more 3s that want to pop up? 33s. Any more 33s? So we can go back on over to a 34. So basically that thing right there that you're looking at, that thing is this thing right here. Now, can you tell that that's the same? No, neither can I. It looks like Sammy has been paw painting on here and throwing everything off. 34. Oh wait, we still got black paint on our paintbrush. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Thank you for the likes. I truly appreciate it. I hope if you're a new viewer, you're going to hit that subscribe button there. I have no idea why I'm talking like this. I met a couple of guys that were from Newark last night at the bar when I was doing karaoke, and they were talking like this. So I'm like, what are you? You're Johnny Five Fingers, right? And this is your buddy Teddy, the 3rd foot mutant, right? Right? You guys are here to crack toenails, right? Yes, real talk, chimp. Should probably be in a booby hatch. Now I'm seeing 32s pop up over here. Son of a mother, father. This is what always happens. Say there's nothing. Nope. Now you got to go back and you got to paint the 32s. All right, 32 right here. 32 right here. Oh, now I found a 33 right here. Son of a mother, father, sister, and brother. Okay. Let's see here. You know what it is? It's probably because I'm perspiring so much. I'm perspiring. There's 33s all over the freaking son of a mother, father, sister, and brother. I missed all these 33s when I said there were no 33s on the freaking board, and now I'm seeing 33s everywhere. Wait a second here. We can't go to the 34 yet. We got to go back to the 33. We have got to go back to the 30 freaking 30. 33, you're this black paint right here. Okay. That was quite a pop. Okay. Kind of hard to see it at the angle that I'm at. 33s right here. 33s are super dark, so okay, I'm going to pose something out here because I need someone to answer my brain. Anybody else ever have prophetic dreams? Or even if you're working and you're fully conscious and awake, you have visions? I mean, it could be the Native American in me to have visions, but I hate after the fact visions, okay? So like yesterday when I was painting, I started painting at 3 p.m. I didn't watch the TV. I didn't listen to the radio. But as I sat in the kitchen here, I had this just sick feeling in my stomach that a major earthquake was coming. Whether I envisioned it being here around me, sitting here and then, panning the camera up and things shaking and falling off the ceiling. I've been through some terrible earthquakes my entire life, so I'm very familiar with them. But again, I painted for almost 4 hours. Nothing happened. I started at 3 p.m. I ended just before 8 p.m., right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm sorry. I went to a little bit after 7 p.m. So then as I'm cleaning up my station, I'm already logged off. I flip on the TV and they tell me that there was a 5.3 earthquake, but that was like 7 hours north of me. 5.6, and then there was like a 6.3 in Japan, or 6 point something in Japan, all on the same freaking day yesterday. And then up in, what was that? Or not up in, but in Venezuela, they had the 2 over 7 point earthquakes, like a 7.3 or 7.2, and then a 7.5. I'm like, I was having a sick feeling all day thinking it was going to be happening right here. Now, I've had those happen throughout my life. I've had those happen. In fact, on 9/11, my buddy and I went to Las Vegas. We got to Las Vegas before the first plane hit. Now, I've already discussed all this in I used to run a podcast in 2018 to 2020, or 2022. You can see that in the podcast playlists, paranormal and metaphysical and dreams, etc. And we had just driven up there. It's like 7-hour drive. Just driven up to Vegas, and we stopped over to Howard Johnson's to get some sleep, get some breakfast, take a shower, and then move on to the next hotel. And I explained this that, I had woken up out of a nightmare about plane hitting a building. Not the World Trade Center or anything like that, but just a plane hitting a building. It's happened before, And my buddy's like, look, no planes have hit any buildings. Nothing's going on. I'll turn the freaking TV off. I'm sick of you having these stupid dreams. Turns the TV on. 1 minute later, blammo. Yeah. So I've had weird dreams like that, and I always, every once in a while, I'll tell somebody before I have these types of things. We all have them. We're all human. We all have these dreams. Some of us write them down. Some of us tell a friend or a family member. Most of us keep it to themselves because they think to themselves, well, how crazy is that going to sound? You know that there was a man that predicted World War II. He predicted everything about World War II. They even have movies about him predicting what's in the Japanese movements and the movements of each of the different kinds, whatever. Nostradamus, well, you want to go back even farther, dig that shit up, you know? I just found a 32 right there, by the way. What color's 32? Son of a mother father. Let's continue doing these 33s first. So yeah, yesterday was really weird. My hands normally shake. I just have an issue. So, that probably didn't help as I'm sitting here talking that I feel that there's going to be an earthquake. And my hands are shaking really badly. And sure enough, I turn on the news afterwards. That really sucks. I don't mean to be negative. It's not trying to be negative. It's like trying to speak up and let somebody know that. But the thing is we live in California, so there's earthquake country. You live in northern Texas, Oklahoma, and some of those states where they have tornado alley. You can't predict it. You already know what season tornadoes start coming, which is now. Sometimes it's fluke. Certain, parts of the United States, you've been around long enough, you know how the weather acts every year at a certain month. Hurricane season, tornado season. You can't really do an earthquake season, but generally it seems to happen around the beginning of summer, most of our earthquakes. So you just figure, okay. And they always say to us, well, we expect the big one. The big one's coming. I'm like, what do you mean by the big one? The hardest earthquake that I've been through has been the 7.5. So you mean like a 9 or a 10 and a world-ending type thing? Is that what they mean by we're waiting for the big one? I don't know what that means. But they say they can't predict earthquakes, but the reality is they can cause earthquakes. They can cause earthquakes with their drilling. They already know that. With the fracking and stuff, they already know that they can create earthquakes under the ocean surface by fracking the ground. They already know that that's possible. So if they would just tell somebody, all right, we're going to go out fracking right now, there's probably going to be an earthquake afterwards. We're going to go dynamite a mountain so that we can, try to find precious metals. Let somebody know that you're going to do that so that they can report about it. But no, they want to keep everything like that a secret. It's like nougat in your chocolate bar. You don't know it's there, but it's there. It's nougat. So they're trying to keep a secret. Secret sounds a lot like nougat. Anyway, back to painting. There's a 32 right there. All right, so still doing our 33s here. These random. Oh, we got a whole one. Okay, this one goes all the way down the bottom here. So again, I'm going to pick the canvas up. Wipe this one off. Look, I can talk about happy little trees like Bob Ross, but I don't have a filter. And sometimes I just babble. If I'm not cattle prodded, shush, shush, shush already, just shush. Then I'm going to keep babbling. Okay, so I think the 33s that are over here are going to be smaller. So wash off this paintbrush. Wash off this paintbrush. Wash off this paintbrush. Okay, good. All right, so we saw 32 somewhere. Is that what we saw? 32. Oh, there's a 32 over there. I'll try this one here. Try a smaller paintbrush and try to get this 32. All right, 32, where were you? Here, right here. A duck egg white. All right. Any more 32s pop up here? There's another 33. There's more 33s. Lots of 33s. All right, we'll keep the 32 close by. Go over to the 33. I hate that my hands shake. Every time I live stream, I tell myself, shush, stop going off on tangents and babbling, stick to the subject. But I never can. Especially if somebody comments something that throws me off my game, right? But that's what I want. I want communication. I want you to communicate with me. I want you to take your little phalanges and type what you feel. This is all a feeling gig. All right, looking for more 33s. There's a thing called unwanted thoughts. I think it happens to us all. Some of us can control it. The only way you can really control unwanted thoughts is distraction. You have to distract yourself in order to get rid of unwanted thoughts. And unwanted thoughts are generally negative thoughts. They could be fantasy. Either way, they can happen at any time. They can happen while you're awake, while you're falling asleep, trying to dream. Intrusive, is that a word? Intrusive thoughts, the same thing. But I become vocal with mine and babble them. Because I find that a way is distracting. And it seems like they come out every time I'm at my most calm, my most chill, my chillaxation. And mostly they're things from the past that are popping up. I think our brain is just constantly firing off these sparks. And each of these sparks that are different little thoughts. Some mess with us while we're driving. Some mess with us while we're walking. or just having a conversation, or you're in between conversation. So you're at that point where you've said what you've said to the person, but now you're in the thinking process of what you're going to say next, or how you're going to respond or rebut in your conversation. Then that intrusive thought comes in and blah, you blurb it out, and they're like, "What? What did you just call me? Did you just call me a real talk chimp?" Oh man, I'm not seeing any more 33s, but they're probably going to pop out. I see the 32 right there. So we're going to clean off this brush. Clean off this brush. Uh-oh. Did I just break my paintbrush? I did. Son of a mother father. All right, here's a 32. Where did I see you? Oh my God, another 33 just popped up. My brain. Where was the 32 that I saw? Holy monkey. If you were the 32, where are you at? Here it is. That's a 33. Oh, I'm sweating so bad. So hot. I'm melting. I'm melting. All right. If a 32 pops up, it's now going to be a 34. But now I got to go back to the 33s because now I'm seeing other 33s popping up. All right, where are these other 33s that are just going to randomly pop up here? Like, I can honestly say right now, I do not see another 33 anywhere on here. There are no more 33s going once, going twice. Any more 33s want to pop up? Going 3 times? No. Let's go back to 34. All right, hang on a second here. I got to go use the restroom. Talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Sammy's over here, so maybe Sammy will talk to you. Sammy, go talk to them. Please? Please, Sammy? Hey, Sam. Come on, Sammy. Sammy. All right. Why won't you let me zoom out? So weird why it won't let me zoom out. I don't get it. Whatever. All right, so we got number 34. Can we find any more 34s or can we move on? We'll move on to 35. If the 34 pops up, we'll go back to it. I don't see any more. All right, so 34 and 35 pretty much look identical. Here's 34, here's 35. 35 may have a tiny bit lighter than 34, so. Let's see if we can find some 35s. There's 35. Like a lighter gray. I noticed there's no happy little trees in this painting. I wonder if they did that on purpose. I could certainly put a tree up in here, you know. There's another 33 right there I just missed. think that's a 36 right there. There's a 35, little tiny one. There's one right here. .33 over there is a 35 next to a 38. It's good to take breaks so you can reset yourself. I think that's a 36. Those are 38s. There's a 35. But it stops right at a 36. Here's a 35. There's a 35 and a 35 here. There's the 36s and 38s. I gotta use a magnifying glass. I don't know what these are. Oh, there's a 35 there. There's a 35 up there. Stupid phone. I think I'm going to go over to Best Buy today after this stream and try to find a different solution for live streaming to the internet, because most things are video recorders. They record. They're not meant to live stream. But that's what I need. I'm live streaming. I'm not video recording. And I want to be able to do this, so I'm painting and building my models, not utilizing my phone. That's way too heavy for this setup here. I had to go back and do more 36s because now I'm finding more, more 33s. Because I'm finding 33s. Let's see, 33 over here, I thought. There it is right there. It's 35 right there, I just missed. Can't see it, and there's probably going to be one there, but I just can't see it. Well, where's the one that I missed? What did I say it was? There's a 35 right there. I broke the tip of this paintbrush, you can see it. I got another paintbrush, in fact, I'm going to grab it right now. And sit there and try to fight with that one. That's the beauty about these paint kits. They come with 6 paintbrushes, 2 of the same of each one. So if you break the tip off, because they're pretty cheap. Yeah. All right, 35. Right here. Right here. A lot of the 36s look like 35s. That's a 38. Here's a 35. Does not like this canvas. Well, think about this canvas. I talked about it in the unboxing. That it's a linen material. It's almost the same material as like the tarp you have over your chicken coop outside to the left next to your broken tractor. Yeah. Oh, Larry says he'll fix your tractor for you. Any more 35s? They're all 36s. 36s. Any 35s up in the clouds? Does anybody really know what time it is? Does Does anybody really care about time? So 35 all the way across the board. I think we're done with 35s. Can move on to 36. Yep, okay. All right, let me wash off these paintbrushes here. Got some pretty muddy water here, but muddy water turns to wine. We're not really going all that much different in color pigment, so we're not doing a drastic switch like previous. Okay, so we went from 35 here to 36. Maybe 36 is just a tiny bit darker than 35. Still kind of a light gray, I guess, or a gray color. All right, 36, a lot of 38s down here, here 36. So you're going to see a 36 right next to a 35. Let's see how much of a difference there is. We literally just went around the 35. There's a 35 above us. Can't tell much of a difference. Can definitely tell the difference on that blue there, though. And the green. What is that? That's a 38. That's 38, 38, 38. 38, 38. Here's a 36. It's becoming very muddy over here with all these different colors. There's a 36 right here. Right here. Here is a 36. Those are 38s. That's a 36. That's a 38. There's a 36. It's 37, 37, 39s, 39s, 37s. These are all 37s and 39s. Got 36 right here. $38, $38, $38. It's a 36. Here's a 36. 38, 38, 38, 38, 38, 38. 38, all the way 38 down there. 38, here's a 36. Those are 38s. Here's a 36. So 38s. So we have multiple other colors here. Just try not to go over them. All right, 38. That one's a 36. There's a 36 right here. Those are all 38s. I think we're done with 36 and move on to 37. Nope, here's a 36 over here. There's a 36 right here. I cannot tell these colors apart. There's like 3 different colors that are all basically look the same, but they're supposed to be slightly a pigment off. Again, maybe once we're finished, it'll look correct. Okay. 38, there's a little bit of a 36 that's not painted. There, that's fine. Okay, 38. Okay, let's move on to 37. We're almost done here, folks. It goes to 39. But as little as they're using colors, we're going to be done with this probably within 3 hours. All right, so 36 going into 37. Again, not much of a difference. Here's the 36. Here's the 37. Almost cannot tell it apart. This one's another tough one here. This one looks like it has a tiny bit more blue. This one has more gray. But I am not 100% certain, so 37. All right, we got some 37s up top. Those are 38s and 39s. Oh, this freaking phone. Trying to cover up that number 37 out there. This is definitely a gray. Without a doubt, this is a gray. Okay, any more 37s? Nope. All right, we're going to switch to a 38. And I promise this will be a 38 special. Wait, what? Now we're going to a distinctly different pigment. So we have the 37, 38. Completely different. Not even remotely close. Maybe a purple, maybe a dark blue. We know that's a light gray. Okay. So here we go, the 38. That is a dark bluish gray. Maybe more sky, don't know. We got 38s everywhere, so let's get cracking. Remember, this is a 39 paint set. All right, I'm not gonna be able to tilt that because you won't be able to see. So that's a 39, that's a 39, 39, 39, 39. 39, those are all 39s. Those are all 39s. Those are all 39s, so that's real thick. Wow, that is super thick. It's like I'm redacting everything. That's a 39. Oh, there's a 37 over there. Oh. Well, say goodbye to that one. That one's going to get painted over anyway. Like, this doesn't make any sense. You have all these really pretty colors around, then you want to come in here and just destroy them with this dark color. But it has its purpose. I got to use some water in here. It's way too thick. The 39 is completely different than this as well. Bless me. For I have not sinned but sneezed. Although if sinning is sneezing, then I have sinned. That'll make my eyes water. It's all 38 down below here. Seems to be it is a dark purple, it's not a black. Because you can see the black around it when I painted it, but this is certainly a dark blue. Trying not to hit the colors that are already there. So I'm just kind of tapping the paintbrush so that I don't get too much paint in that spot. Like the brush strokes I'll do, like here I can do brush strokes. We're going all the way over here. I gotta hold on to the canvas here. It really wants to run away. Okay. We got a 37 that just popped up, so let me take care of that. Obviously, we're down to our last two colors, so colors that we missed before will start popping up. It's just a little tiny one. Oh, there's more 38s over here. I thought it was actually done, so knock out the 38s right here. Actually kind of mixed up this 37 into it. Kind of looks cool. All right, the rest are all 39s. None of where 39s. All right. We are down to our last color, folks. We're just almost done with this third hour here. You can use the big one for 39s until we get down to the lower areas, if there are any more. But this is a big jump of pigment. So here's the 38, which was this deep dark blue. Here is the 39, a completely back to the blue we started with like number 11. Like here was number 11. Here is number 39. Just a pigment different. Why did they do such a drastic jump like that? I can't even begin to tell you. I don't know how these companies do this to try to make it challenging for us, but here is number 39. Whatever that is some type of light blue. Okay. So we're going to go up here. Pick this guy. So I could picked up some of the dark that I had. Had a little water to it. So borealis. So you got a gas in the air, right? Gas in the air, and it's falling like rain. So it's not going to go in a horizontal, it's going to go in a vertical. So I'm using down strokes, vertical strokes. Add a little bit of water. So 39 right there, the horizon. Little one right there. Got ones going over here. We're dripping up top. Missed the spot. So there's supposed to be some stars up there. I kind of messed them up. We're not going to stuck an Orion up there. Good enough. You're going to hang out with me for a moment while I do some cleaning. It's Jessica. Hey there, Jessica. There we go. That's for Jessica. I need something else to figure out how to get this paint off of here. I'll find something else to do. There's so many pretty colors on here, but it's not going to be good. My name is Ricky with Real Talk Chimp, live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. This has been part 3 of Mesmerizing Aurora. Paint by numbers from numberartist.com. Item number 50-40-LZ8383. Thanks for Jessica to show up here. I appreciate that. Cheese It XD 123 said hi. Appreciate that. Ace D Superfan was here. Thank you. Rulus was here. Dan LFC was here. Game Bro was here. Let's see who else came by. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we're done. I don't have to go into a part 4 because while this had 39 paint pods, the reality is we may have used maybe, like when we started getting into the early 30s, like when we got to 30, 31, there were like only 1 or 2 spots. It's really weird. This should have been only a 24 paint set, not a 39. I don't know why the market, maybe they just needed extra money for this. But I'll back up a little bit. So we'll try to get a sense of what the hell I just painted. This is Mesmerizing Aurora. Guess I should rotate about this way a little bit. I put my own stars in there because I messed them up. So I stuck a Orion up there just for poops and giggles. There are some stars in this painting, but I thought, you know what? I think I may come back and run some trees. I'll look at the trees up in Alaska and see what they have. This one doesn't have any trees in its painting. It's just supposed to be a horizon with a couple of mountains in the background with the broken up riverbed going across. Reflection on the water. You see the water is reflecting the Aurora Borealis above, where the green goes like this and comes down here. This is the water. This is the horizon. This is a mountain here. There's a mountain. Part of a mountain here, and then the rest is a valley with smaller mountains going all the way back, and then you have the Aurora Borealis coming through. So everything that you see down below is the reflection from the sky. And then of course it's at nighttime, so it's darkness. The dark sky is reflecting off the ground. So there you go. Let's see if I can focus this a little bit. There we go. I don't know why it's changing colors like that, but there's your Mesmerizing Aurora. Okay. So the YouTube thinks I used AI on this thing. I'm the guy that painted this. So if you look at the thumbnail, it's me, not stupid AI. This is the stupid thing I've been using to do it in first person. That didn't sound right. Yeah, I'm Ricky with Real Talk Chimp. Until next time, I will catch you on the flip side. Peace and chicken grease, everyone. Have a good something. Later.